Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा. हरे कृष्ण.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So today is Friday. It is 17th of October. It is Kartika Masa or Damodara Masa, Krishna Paksham, and Dwadasi today. So today is fasting for Ekadasi. So yesterday it was not fasting. So today we are fasting from grains, beans, and cereals. Okay, so that is, it is today is Rama Ekadasi. It is Rama Ekadasi. So Rama is the goddess of fortune. Mahalakshmi Devi. So today is Rama Ekadasi. So we shall read some information about Rama Ekadasi from Pandisati.com. Can you request Saranya Mataji to read the Katha, please?
Hare Krishna. Yudhishthira Maharaj said, O Janardana, O protector of all beings, what is the name of the Ekadashi that comes during the dark fortnight, Krishna Paksha of the month of Kartika, October-November? Please impart the sacred knowledge to me. The Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna, then spoke as follows. O lion among the kings, please listen as I narrate to you. The Ekadashi that occurs during the dark part of the month Kartika is called Rama Ekadashi. It is most auspicious, for it at once eradicates the greatest sins and award one the passage to the spiritual abode. I shall now narrate to you its history and glories. There once lived a famous king of the name Muj- uh, Muchag- Muchagunda, who was friendly to the Lord Indra, the king of the heavenly planets, as well as with Yamaraj, Varuna, and Vibhishana, the pious brother of Jivan Ravana. Muchakunda always spoke the truth and constantly rendered devotional service to me. Because he ruled according to religious principle, there were no disturbances in his kingdom. Mu- Muchakunda's daughter was named Chandrabhaga after after a sacred river, and the king gave her in marriage to Shobana, the son of Chandrasena. One day, Shobana visited his father-in-law's palace on the auspicious Ekadashi day. This visit made Shobana's wife, Chandrabhaga, quite anxious, for she knew that her husband was physically very weak and unable to bear the austerity of a day-long fast. She said to him, my father is very strict about following Ekadashi. On Dashami and the day before Ekadashi, he strikes a large kettle drum and announces nobody should eat on Ekadashi, the sacred day of Sri Hari. When Shobana heard the sound of the kettle drum, he said to his wife, "O beautiful one, what am I to do now? Please tell me how I can serve my life and obey your father's strictness and at the same time satisfy our guest." Chandrabhaga then spoke, "My dear husband, in my father's house, nobody, not even the elephants or horses, what to speak of consenting human beings, eats on Ekadashi. Indeed, none of the animals are given their ration of grains, leaves, or straw, or even water on Ekadashi, the sacred day of Sri Hari. So, how can you escape fasting? My beloved husband, if you must eat something, then you should leave here at once. Now, within firm conviction, decide on what you have to do." Prince Shobana then said, "I have decided to fast on the sacred Ekadashi day. Whatever my fate is, it will surely come to pass." Deciding thus, Shobana attempted to fast on this Ekadashi, but he became unbearably disturbed with excessive hunger and thirst. Eventually, the sun set in the west, and the arrival of the auspicious night made all the Vaishnavas very happy. O Yudhishthira, all the pure devotees enjoyed worshipping me, Sri Hari, and remaining awake all through the night. But Prince Shobana that night became absolutely unbearable. Indeed, when the sun rose on Dwadashi, that Prince Shobana was dead. King Muchakanda observed his son-in-law's funerals, ordering a large stack of wood be assembled for the fire, but he instructed his daughter Chandrabhaga not to join her husband on the funeral fire. Thus Chandrabhaga, After performing all the purificatory process and procedures for honoring her deceased husband, continued to live in her husband's in his father's in her father's house. Lord Sri Krishna continued, O best of the king Yudhishthira, even though Shobana died because of observing Rama Ekadashi, the merit that he acquired enabled him after his death to become the ruler of a kingdom high on the peak of Mandrachala mountain. This kingdom was like a city of demigods, very lustrous and unlimited jewels set in the walls of its building that gave off light. The pillars were made of rubies and gold inlaid with diamonds shone everywhere. As King Shobana sat upon a throne beneath a pure white canopy, servants fanned him with a yak-tail's whisk. A stunning crown rested upon his head, beautiful earrings adorned his ears, a necklace graced his throat, and bejeweled armlets and bracelets encircled his arms. He was served by Gandharvas, the best of heavenly singers, the Apsaras, celestial dancers. Verily, he assembled a second Indra. One day, a Brahmin named Soma Sharma, who lived in Mujaganda's kingdom, happened upon Shobana's kingdom while traveling to various places of pilgrimage. The Brahmin saw Shobana in all his resplendent glory and thought that he might be the son-in-law of his own king Mujaganda. When Shobana saw the Brahmin approaching, he immediately rose up from his seat and welcomed him. After Shobana had paid his respectful obeisances, he asked the Brahmin about his well-being and about the health and well-being of his Shobana's father-in-law, his wife, and all the residents of the city. Soma Sharma, Soma Sharma then said, O king, all the residents and subjects are well in your father-in-law's kingdom, and Chandrabhaga and your other family members are also quite well. Peace and prosperity reign throughout the kingdom. But there is one thing I'm quite astonished to find you here. Please tell me about yourself. Nobody has ever seen such beautiful city as this. Kindly tell me how you obtained it. King Shobana then began to tell his story. Because I observed the Rama Egadashi, I was given this splendid city to rule over. But for all its grandeur, it is only temporary. I beg you to do something to correct the deficiency. You see, this is only an ep- ephemeral city, a place of this material world. How may I wait? How may I make its beauties and glory is permanent. Kindly reveal this to me by your instructions. The Brahmins then asked, why is this kingdom unstable and how will it become stable? Please fully explain this to me and I shall try to help you. Shobana then answered, because I fasted on Rama Egadashi without any faith, this kingdom is impermanent. Now, here how it can become permanent, please return to Chandrabhaga, the beautiful daughter of King Mujuganda, and tell her what you have seen and understood about this place and about me. Surely, if you, a pure hearted Brahmin, tell her this, my city will soon become permanent. Thus, the Brahmin returned to his city and related the entire episode to Chandrabhaga, who was both surprised and overjoyed to hear this news of her husband. She said, O Brahmana, is this a dream you have seen, or is it actually a factual thing? Soma Sharma, the Brahmin, replied, O princess, I have seen your late husband face to face in that wonderful kingdom which resembles a realm of denizens of heaven's playgrounds. But your former husband has asked me to relate to you that he says that his kingdom is unstable and could vanish into thin air at any moment. Therefore, he hopes you can find a way to make it permanent. Chandrabhaga then said, O sage among the Brahmins, please take me to the palace, to the place where my husband resides at once. For I greatly desire to see him again. Surely I shall make his kingdom permanent with the merit that I have acquired by fasting on every Ekadashi throughout my life. Please reunite us at once again. It is said that one who reunites separated persons also obtain very great merit. The humble Brahmin Soma Sharma then lead Chandrabhaga to Shobana's effulgent kingdom. Before reaching it, however, they stopped at the foot of Mount Mantrachala at the sacred ashrama of Vamadeva. Upon hearing their story, Vamadeva chanted hymns and the Vedas and sprinkled holy water from his Samanya, Ar- Samanya Argya upon Chandrabhaga. By the influence of that great Rishi's right, the merit she had acquired by fasting for so many Ekadashi made her body transcendental, ecstatic. Ecstatic, her eyes became beaming in wonder. Chandrabhaga continued on her journey. When Shobana saw his wife approaching him high on Mount Mandrajala, he was overwhelmed with joy and called out her great happiness and jubilation. After she arrived, he seated her on the left side, and she said to him, "O dearest Padiguru, please listen as I tell you something that will benefit you greatly. Since I was 8 years old, I have fasted regularly and with full faith on every Ekadashi. If I transfer to you all the merit I have accumulated, your kingdom will surely become permanent, and its prosperity will grow and grow until coming of the great inundation." Lord Sri Krishna then continued to address Yudhishthira as follows: O Yudhishthira, in this way, Chandrabhaga, who was beautifully decorated with the finest ornaments and had an exquisitely transcendental body, at last enjoyed peace and happiness with her husband. By the potency of Rama Ekadashi, Shobana found his kingdom on the peaks of Mount Mandrajala, able to fulfill all his desires and bestow upon him everlasting happiness, like that achieved from the transcendental Kama Dhenu milk cow. O great of kings, I have thus narrated to you the glories of Rama Egadashi that falls in the dark fortnight of the month of Kartika. Anyone who observes sacred Ekadashi during both the light and dark fortnight of each month is undoubtedly freed from the reactions to the sins of killing Brahmin. One should not differentiate between the Ekadashis of the light and dark parts of the month. As we have seen, both can award pleasure in this world and liberate even the most sinful fallen souls, just as black cows and white cows give equally good quality milk. So the Ekadashis, the dark fortnight, Krishna Paksha, and the light fortnight, Shukla Paksha or Gaura Paksha, awards the same high degree of merit and eventually liberates one from the repeated cycle of birth and death. Anyone who simply hears this narration of glories of the sacred day of Rama Ekadashi is freed from all kinds of sins and attain the supreme abode of Lord Vishnu. Thus ends the narration of the glories of sacred Kartika Krishna Ekadashi or Rama Ekadashi from the Brahma Vaivarta Purana of Srila Krishna Dvaipayana Veda Vyasa. Hare Krishna, Rama Ekadashi ki jai.
Jai. Thank you, Mataji. Very beautiful Katha. Thank you so much. Okay, that is from everyone's perspective. Today is Rama Ekadasi, fasting from grains, beans, and cereals. Okay, so there are levels of fasting. So, and who can fast from everything, inclusive of water. So they can fast like that. Next level is they can consume water. Next level is they can take milk and juices. Next level is they can take some fruits. And further, they can take some kind of roots like potatoes and carrots like that. But strictly no grains. Okay, that is Ekadasi today. Okay, we shall move into our daily Srimad Bhagavatam. ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय Hare Krishna. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, Maitreya Muni started speaking to Vidura in order to respond to the questions that Vidura has raised. And initially, those questions, it was surprising to Maitreya Muni, but Maitreya Rishi, later on, he settled himself and started speaking. So, and then yesterday we have read half of the purport of Srila Prabhupada. So for the shloka, like Seyam Bhagavato Maya Yanna Yena Virujyate Ishwarasya Vimuktasya Karpanyamuta Bandhanam. Some people they say that even God also will come into the material nature and he will also be entangled. So they will think that they will say some words like that. Lord, God also go through the karmic reactions. And the other side, they will also say he is above he is Yeshwarasya Vimuktasya. He is above the material nature. So there is a contradictory between their words, but they do not know that they are also illusioned by the material energy of the Lord. Okay, so within that descriptions, so Prabhupada has been describing um, in different angles. So, Seyam Bhagavato Maya Yan Nayen Virijyate Ishwarasya Vimuktasya Karpanyamuta Bandhanam. So, again, reading this translation, Shri Maitreya said, certain conditioned souls put forward the theory that Supreme Brahman or the personality of Godhead is overcome by illusion or Maya, and at the same time, they maintain that he is unconditioned. This is against all logic. Okay, purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, we shall read the second half of the purport. So, um, can I request any unallocated devotees to read this purport, please?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, can you read?
Yes, Mataji.
It is from There Is No Reason, yeah? Purport by Divan Srila Prabhupada ki jai. There is no reason to assert that the Supreme Brahman is overpowered by the illusory energy. The clouds, darkness, and snowfall can cover only a very insignificant portion of the sun's rays. Similarly, the modes of material nature may react upon the ray-like living entities. It is the misfortune of the living entity, certainly not without reason, that the influence of the material energy acts on his pure consciousness and eternal bliss. This covering this covering up of pure consciousness and eternal bliss is due to avidya avidya karma samnya, the energy which acts on the in infinitesimal living entities who misuse misuse their minute independence. According to Vishnu Purana, Bhagavad Gita, and all other Vedic literatures, the living entities are generated from the uh, tatastha energy of the Lord, and thus they are always the energy of the Lord and are not the energetic. The living entities are like the sun's rays, although, as explained above, there is no qualitative difference between the sun and its rays. The sun's rays are sometimes overpowered by another energy of the sun, namely by clouds or by snowfall. Similarly, although the living entities are qualitatively one with the superior energy of the Lord, they have the tendency to be overpowered by the inferior material energy. In the Vedic hymns, it is said that the living entities are like the sparks of a fire. The sparks of the sparks of fire also are fire, but the burning potency of the sparks is different from that of the original fire. When the sparks fly out of touch with the original fire, they come under the influence of a non-fiery atmosphere. Thus, they maintain the potency to be again one with the fire as sparks, but not as the but not as the original fire. The sparks can everlasting the sparks can everlastingly remain within the original fire as its parts and parcels. But the moment the sparks become separated from the original fire, their misfortunes and miseries begin. The clear conclusion is that the Supreme Lord, who is the original fire, is never overpowered, but the infinitesimal sparks of the fire can become overpowered by the illusory effects of Maya. It is a most ludicrous argument to say that the Supreme Lord is overpowered by his own material energy. The Lord is the master of the material energy, but the living entities are in the conditioned state controlled by the material energy. This is the words who put forward the arguments that the Supreme Lord is overpowered by the material modes of goodness are themselves illusioned by the same material energy. Although they think of themselves as liberated souls, they support their arguments by a false and laborious jugglery of words, which is a gift of the same illusory energy of the Lord. But the poor froggish philosophers, due to a false sense of knowledge, cannot understand the situation. In the sixth canto, ninth chapter, 34th verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated, Duravalabdha iva tavayam vihara yoga yad asharano sharira idam anavekshita asmat samvaya atma atmanaiva avikriymanena sagunam agunaha srajasi pasi Harasi. Thus, the demigods prayed to the Supreme Lord that although his activities are very difficult to understand, they can still they can still be understood to some extent by those who sincerely engage in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. The demigods admitted that although the Lord is apart from the material influence of creation, he nevertheless creates, maintains, and annihilates the complete cosmic manifestation by the agency of the demigod Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Second said long purport as well here. So here after yesterday Prabhupada was describing one analogy that the sun, because of its power, and he evaporates the water from the oceans that will go up, and then it will turn into the clouds, and sometimes it will come as rain, sometimes it says snow. There are different energies of the sun. Sometimes the cloud may cover the sun little bit, but the sun rays are covered by the little bit of cloud. So this is cloud is also energy of the Lord, and also sun rays are also energy of the Lord. But sun is always the sun. Okay, so here on that basis, further Prabhupada is describing here, there is no reason to assert the Supreme Brahman is overpowered by the illusory energy. So otherwise, there must be a controller, and there must be a to be controlled. So here Prakriti and Purusha, two entities, it is always there. Prakriti, Purusha, and Chaitanya. So this one, 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, it clearly explains on these subject matters. So the clouds, darkness, and snowfall can cover only a very insignificant portion of the sun rays. Okay? Similarly, the material nature may react upon the ray-like living entities. We belong to the ray-like living entity, this marginal energy. Okay, so and it is the misfortune of the living entity, certainly not without reason, that the influence of the material energy acts on his pure consciousness and eternal bliss. So here in the Bhagavad Gita, so once we come across at the end, Krishna says, Yetechasi tatakuru, that is the free will of the living entity. So, but here what has happened? So Krishna has given all the knowledge to Arjuna, all Bhagavad Gita knowledge to Arjuna, and then he also gives that free will, it was also there, before also was there. But Arjuna was bewildered to carry out his duties, and then he surrendered, and then he acquired the knowledge. Still, he has got the freedom, the same free will. But here, finally, Arjuna says, uh, I will do whatever you have said, O Krishna. Karishye vachanam tava, whatever you have spoken, I will carry out those instructions as it is. So he has accepted those statements. Still, free will is there. But people who misuse their free will, like so, and also in between that, starting from second chapter to the end of 18th chapter, so if you do like this, you will be entangled. If you do this, then you will be free. So you will be free from all clutches of the material world. If you are surrendered unto me, I will protect you in all respects. Devi Hesha Gunamai Mama Maya Jaya Mam Eve Prapajante Mayam Etam Taradite. Either you wanted to entangle here or you wanted to come out of. It is your free will, but that is, he can choose wherever he wanted to be. So this is the misfortune of the living entity if he does not take the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so this covering up of the pure consciousness and eternal bliss is due to the avidya karma sanya. So the energy which acts on the infinitesimal living entities who misuse their minute independence. This is Vishnu Shakti para prokta kshetra jnakya तथा परा अविद्या कर्म संज्ञाय तृतीय शक्ति दृश्यते This Tritiya Shakti Rishyate, whoever is misusing their independence, so they will come under clutches of the karma, avidya karma. This is according to the Vishnu Purana. Okay, this is the Tatastha living entities are generated from the Tatastha energy of the Lord or marginal energy of the Lord. They are always the energy of the Lord, but not energetic. They are Bhrutyas, they are the servants, they are not the masters. That they are not the masters. That is the statement here. And then the living entities are like the sun rays, and so here it is again this description has given. They're like the sun rays, all the explained above. There is no qualitative difference between sun and its rays. The sun rays are sometimes overpowered by another energy of the sun, namely by clouds or by snowfall. Similarly, also, the living entities are qualitatively one with the superior energy of the Lord. They have the tendency to be overpowered by the another energy, that is inferior material energy. Okay, so again, one more analogy is given: the fire and its sparks, and then flames, and then smoke. Yata ulmukat vispulingat dhumat api susambhavat api atmatven abhimatat yata agnihi praduk ulmukat. So these flames, sparks, vispulingat, the sparks, dhumad, this is the smoke, everything comes from the fire. But fire is the original. As long as the sparks of the fire are also fire, but the burning potency of the sparks is different from that of the original fire. When the sparks fly out of touch with the original fire, they come under the influence of non-fiery atmosphere. Thus, they maintain the potency to be again one with the fire as sparks, but not as the original fire. Okay, so the sparks can everlastingly remain within the original fire as its parts and parcels, but at the moment the sparks become separated from the original fire. Then their misfortunes and miseries begin. So as soon as they lose their connectivity from the original fire, they will lose their property of the fire. The sparks will go dim, and then it will turn into the ashes. So the clear conclusion is that the Supreme Lord, who is the original fire, is never overpowered, but the infinitesimal sparks of the fire can become overpowered by the illusory effect of Maya. So tada purusham atmanam kevalam prakriti param nirantaram swayam jyotihi animanam akanditam. So here, living entity is the nirantaram swayam jyotihi animanam akanditam. Animanam is the infinitesimal. Akanditam, it is non-cessantly, it is or continuously, it is always glowing and powerful. That living entity, it has got its influence, but it will come here into this material world and forget the uh, connection to the supreme personality of Godhead. That is the living entity. It will come under illusory effect of Maya. But even though it is existing within the body, it will never mix with the matter. It is always separate from the matter. So in the Bhagavad Gita also we come in the second chapter. So Krishna describes those statements. Okay, but it appears that the consciousness is spread all over the body. Similarly, but though it appears, but it does not mix with the matter. It does not mix with the matter. So it is a most ludicrous argument to say that the Supreme Lord is overpowered by the own material energy. Okay, that does not have any um, backing statements in the Vedic scriptures or in the practicality also. Okay, we are in the 7 o'clock, so we shall do the Damodarastakam, and then we shall just finish off this one after the Damodarastakam. Okay, so today our Damodarastakam Kirtaniya is Shash Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Hare Krishna everyone.
When you're ready, Mataji, you kindly start the Damodarastakam, and the dear devotees for doing ghee lamp offering, kindly turn on the videos. Hare Krishna. Please
Hare
go ahead, Mataji.
Namami Sharam Sachidanandarupam Lasat Kundalam Gokule Brajamanam
यशोदाभियलुकालादवमानम् परामृष्टात्यन्ततो धृत्यगोप्या रुदन्तं मुहुर्नेत्रयुगं मुजुन्तं कराम्बोजयुग्मेन सातकनेत्रम् मुहुश्वासकम्पत्रिरेखाङ्ककण्ठ स्थितग्रेवं दामोदरं भक्तिवदम् इति दृश्यलीलाभिरानन्दकुण्डे सघोषं निमज्जन्तम् आख्यापयन्तम् तदीयेषितज्ञेषु भक्तिरजितं पुनः प्रेमतस्तं सतावृत्तिबन्धे वरं देवमोक्षं न मुख्याबधिं वा न चान्यं वृणेऽहं वरसादपीह इदं ते वपुर्नाथ गोपालबालम् सदा मे मनस्य अविराष्टं किमानै इदं ते मुखाम्बोजम् अत्यन्तनीलवृतं कुन्तले स्निग्धरक्तस्य गोप्या मुहुषमृतं बिम्बरक्ताधरं मे मनस्याभिराष्टम् अलं लखिलाभै नमो देवदामोदर अनन्त विष्णु प्रसीद प्रभु दुःखजलातिमग्नम् कृपादृष्टिवृष्टादिदिनं बतानु गृहाणे समामज्ञ एदकीदृशः कुबेरात्मजौ बधमूर्तेऽप्यत्पत् त्वया मोचितो भक्तिभाजो कृतो च तथा प्रेम भक्तिं च कामे प्रयच्छ नमोखे ग्रहो मेऽस्ति दामोदरेह नमस्तेऽस्तु दाम्ने स्फुरदीप्तिधाम्ने तदीयोदराथाय विश्वस्य धाम्ने नमो राधिकाय तदीयप्रियाय नमो नन्तलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यं नमो राधिकाय तदीयप्रियाय नमो नन्तलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यं नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले व्रजमानं यशोधावियलुकालाधवमानं परामृष्टात्यन्ततो धृत्यगोप्या हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय जशोदा दामोदर जशोदा दामोदर जशोदा दामोदर जय राधे जय राधा दामोदर राधा दामोदर राधा दामोदर जय राधे या प्रभात की जय निताई गौर हरि हरि बोल थैंक यू
Yeah.
प्रभु जी
Thank you, Mataji. Very beautiful. Would you like to read the translation, Mataji, please?
yes प्रभु जी to the Supreme Lord, whose form is the embodiment of eternal existence, knowledge, and bliss, whose accept earrings are swinging to and fro, who is beautifully shining in the divine realm of Gokula, who I did the offense of breaking the pot of yogurt that his mother was churning into butter and then stealing the butter that was kept hanging from his swing, is quickly running from the wooden grinding motor in fear of Mother Yashoda, but who has been caught from behind by her who ran after him with greater speed to the Supreme Lord Sri Damodar. I offer my humble obeisances. Seeing the weeping stick in his mother's hand, his crying, unrubbing his eyes again and again with his two lotus hands. His eyes are filled with fear, and the necklace of pearls around his neck, which is marked with three lines like a conch shell, is shaking because of his quick breathing due to crying. To his Supreme Lord, Sri Damodar, whose belly is bound not with ropes, but with mother's love, pure love, I offer my humble obeisances. By such childhood pastime as this, he is drowning the inhabitants of Gokula in pools of ecstasy, and is revealing to those devotees who are absorbed in knowledge of his supreme majesty and opulence that he is only conquered by devotees whose pure love is imbued with intimacy and free from all conception of awe and reverence. With great love, I again offer my obeisances to Lord Damodar hundreds and hundreds of times. O Lord, although you are able to give all kind of benediction, I do not pray to you for the boon of impersonal liberation, nor the highest liberation of eternal life in Vaikuntha, nor any other boon which may be obtained by executing the nine processes of bhakti. O Lord, I simply wish that this form of yours as Balagopal in Vrindavan may ever be manifest in my heart. For what is the use of my other any other boon besides this? O Lord, your lotus face, which is encircled by locks of soft black hair tinged with red, is kissed again and again by Mother Yashoda, and your lips are reddish like the bimba fruit. May this beautiful vision of your lotus face be ever manifest in my heart. Thousand and thousand of other benedictions are of no use to me. O Supreme Godhead, I offer my obeisances unto you, O Damodar, O Anand, O Vishnu, O Master, O my Lord. Be pleased upon me, be showering your glance of mercy upon me. Deliver this poor ignorant fool who is immersed in an ocean of worldly sorrows and become visible to my eyes. O Lord Damodar, just as the two sons of Kubera, Manigriva and Nalakuber, were delivered from the curse of Narad and made into great devotees by you in your form as baby tied with rope to a wooden grinding mortar. In the same way, please to, give to me your own prema bhakti. I only long for this and I have no desire for any kind of liberation. O Lord Damodar, I first of all offer my obeisances to the brilliantly effulgent robe which binds your belly. I then offer my obeisances to your belly, which is the abode of the entire universe. I humbly bow down to your most beloved Srimati Radharani, and I offer all obeisances to you, the Supreme Lord, who displays unlimited pastime. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hari Bol Nitai Gaur.
Jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Shashmataji. Very beautifully sung and ended these translations. Very nice. And thank you so much, Meena Mataji, for kindly showing the Gilam offering to the Lord. Okay, that
Thank
is
you.
from Damodrastakam. Thank you so much. Okay, so we shall turn back to our Bhagavatam. So in the Bhagavatam, so Srila Prabhupada is describing, so saying that these some people's materialistic people's philosophies that they are ludicrous arguments to say that the Supreme Lord is overpowered by his material energy. His material energy. So there is no argument. This is called Nayena Yen Nayena Virujyate. There is no logic for their statements. And then the Lord is the master of the material energy. But the living entities are in the conditioned state controlled by the material energy. So just like in a home, the father and mother is there. Mother has got more authority on the children. She can control her children than the father. Of course, father is also, but father gives the free will, freedom to the mother, whatever she wanted with the children to do and control. But if the children coming to the father, oh father, so please, I will hear whatever you want, whatever you say, I will hear. Then coming completely under the control of the father. And then mother drives the family with love and affection and emotions and so many other things, mix it together. But father, he will give what is the Shreyaha. Mother gives Priya and Shreya both, but father only the Shreya. He also gives the Priya, but it will be diluted for a long time, but it will never ever be degraded in. But here, the father who knows what to do, what not to do, that kind of father, not the ignorant fathers like of the materialistic way. Of course, there is also a little bit of resemblance, but here, who knows about the knowledge, who can deliver the children from the clutches of material world, such kind of fathers, devotee fathers and devotee mothers. Okay, so that would we could say the minute reflection in our homes. So this is the version of Bhagavad Gita. The froggish philosophers who put forward the argument that the Supreme Lord is overpowered by the material mode of goodness or themselves illusioned by the same material energy. So although they think of themselves as liberated souls. So themselves illusioned by the same material energy and they speak such kind of statements. Again, this particular statement can be elaborated very long. So, but here in a nutshell, they are also under the influence of same material energy of the Lord. And they support their arguments by false and laborious jugglery of words, which is a gift of one of the same illusory energy of the Lord. These words also coming uh, from the energy of the Lord. So here in the beginning of the creation, Maitreya Muni is speaking, starting from Pradhana Prakriti and then Mahatattva, Ahankara, goodness, passion and ignorance, and then from mode of goodness, the mind and all the demigods, they're manifested from mode of passion, all the senses, and then the Jnanendriyas, Karnendriyas, and their corresponding knowledge got manifested. From the mode of ignorance, the Tanmatras and the Panchabhutas got manifested. We are all covered by all this material energy of the Lord, energies of the Lord. And then we speak about that Lord. So it is a funny thing. When the chicken lays egg and the egg looks at the chicken mother and then looks at love. This is kind of the way of how this froggish philosopher Prabhupada is mentioning. So they support their arguments by a false and laborious jugglery of words, which is a gift of the same illusory energy of the Lord. But the poor froggish philosophers, due to the false sense of knowledge, cannot understand the situation. They cannot understand the Lord at all. Everywhere it is the mentioned. Even Brahma, the Lord Shiva, and all other demigods, what to speak of anyone else, they're all coming under the influence of the Lord. सुजामितन्युक्तोऽहं हरो हरति तद्वशः विश्वं पुरुषरूपेण परिपाति त्रिशक्तिध्रुव. Even this Brahman, Shiva, they are under the control of the Vishnu. In such a way, the Lord maintains in the Purusha Rupa, maintains this universe in the form of Purusha Rupa. That's why there is a Purusha Sukta also. We have got Purusha Sukta. It is described like in his spiritual world, the Lord is always existing, and then spiritual world is of the three parts, and material world is of one part. Um, पादोऽसि विश्वभूतानि त्रिपादस्यामृतं दिवि त्रिपादस्य amrutam divi. That is three-fourths is in the spiritual planet. Pado asya vishwabhutani. One part is the all this material creation. So tripad buddha udait purushaha padosya bhavat punaha. So tripad vodva udait purushaha. The supreme personality of Godhead, he is always in this spiritual planets. Padosya iha bhavat punaha. In the one part of the material creation, which contains innumerable universes again. One part of creation is all innumerable universes. Bhavat punaha, they are taking birth and death again and again and again. So this living entity, that is described in the Purusha Sukta. And then we would hear from the Brahmanas whenever they come home and performing sacrifices. At the time, they chant sometimes. They may not chant the entire Purusha Sukta, but They may go up to 7 slokas, 8 slokas, sometimes 10 slokas like that, but there are many slokas of them. It gives the entire elaboration of the Purusha. So the Lord maintains this universe in the Purusha Rupa. Vishwam Purusha Rupena Paripati Vishwadru. So by his energies. So at the time, Brahma and Vishnu, Brahma and Lord Shiva are also under the control of Vishnu. Okay, and here further it Prabhupada is mentioning 6th canto 9th chapter 34th verse here. Dhruva Bodha Ivatavayam. Dhruva Bodha. It is very difficult to understand Dhruva Bodha Ivatavayam of this, oh my dear Lord. Vihara Yoga yet Vihara Yoga. So how you create this your universe and you perform all these pastimes, Vihara is the engagement in the pastimes of material creation, maintenance, and annihilation. Aserno Aserno Asera idham anavekchita asman. This is Aserno, and he does not need anyone's help. Asherira, he does not need any material body. Idam. So here in this activities of the Lord, anavekchita asman, anavekchita is without having any so without waiting for anyone else, like anavekchita asmad. And then samavaya atmanaiva avikriyatmanena avikriyamanena. So without being transformed. So kriyamana avikriyamanena. And sagunam is material modes agunaha srujasi pasi harasi. Srujasi pasi harasi. He creates and maintains and destroys. It is very difficult to understand. So here Dhruva Bodhaiva, the demigods mentioned to the Supreme Lord in their prayers. His activities are very difficult to understand. They can still be understood to some extent by those who sincerely engage in the transcendent loving service of the Lord. So this is Bhaktya Mama Vichanati Yavarnashashmi Tatpataha Taktva Deham Punarjanma. So this is again, what is that shloka? So just mixing with the two shlokas. So Bhaktya Mama Vichanati Yavarnashashmi Tatpataha Tato Mam Tatpato Jnatva Vishite Tadanantaram. So they only can enter into the pastimes of the Lord. Only the devotees. That is, Sevon Mukehi Jikvado Soimeva Spuratyadaha. Okay, likewise, Prabhupada is explaining demigods admitted that the Lord is apart from the material influence or creation. He nevertheless creates, maintains, and annihilates the complete manifestation by the agency of the demigods. Even goddess Durga, Srushti Siti Pralaya Sadhana Sikti Reka, Chaya Vyasya Bhunan Vibhatti Durga, Ichanurupam Api Yasya Cha Cheshtate Sa Govinda Madi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Durga carries out all these activities on behalf of Govinda. Ichanurupam api yasya chestate sa. Okay, so that is the supreme personality of Godhead. But people, they surrender to themselves to different demigods for material things, and then they speak in a different way, froggish philosophies. Okay, so but we have got Bhagavad Gita as it is, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. So they themselves are illuminating our knowledge. तेषामेवानुकम्पार्थम् अहमज्ञानजं तमः नाशयाम्यात्मभावस्तो ज्ञानरूपेण भास्वता. The Lord illuminates the devotee with all the knowledge. Okay, that is from Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. We shall move to Srila Prabhupada's daily letter. So today letter to Balimadhana, November 29th, 1970, Bombay. Okay, can I request other devotee to read this letter, please? Do we have Dipti Mataji? Okay, any other devotees, please? Shashi Mataji, if you are available. Or in devotee is fine, please. Okay, I shall read this letter.
Do you want me to read it, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji, please.
My dear Balimardhan, please accept my blessings. I am in due receipt of your letter. dated November 23, 1970. And I'm very glad that you have gone on to Singapore for expanding our number of Far Eastern and Pacific branches of ISKCON. It is my ultimate desire that all the cities of the world have such centers for Krishna consciousness. And I'm sure this will come about because it is the desire of Lord Chaitanya. I have also received encouraging reports from Sydney and Fiji. So long our students remain fixed up to the regulative principles without deviation, they will be enthusiastic for spreading this sublime movement. Please keep close contact with the centers in your zone and see that everything is going on nicely. If you can travel from center to center conveniently, that is very good. Regarding the two students in Sydney, I shall arrange to initiate them as soon as possible. I'm very glad that Jane will soon be joining Burijana and they will open our branch in Hong Kong. This is the greatest service that you are all rendering in the matter of spreading Krishna consciousness, and Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will certainly bless you all, my sincere students, more and more in Krishna consciousness. Hope this will meet you in good health. Your ever well wisher, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Thank you, Prabhuji. Any take points, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhu. I think Srila Prabhupada is very pleased that that new centers are being opened in the Far East Pacific region, and one of the main things that Srila Prabhupada's objective and what was told to him by his Guru Maharaj is to spread Krishna consciousness to as many cities and as many places in the world, which comes from Lord Chaitanya. So he is referring to that. Also, I think one of the important point is that so long as the students remain fixed up to the regulative principles without deviation. So I think this is a important sentence that I found in this letter, whereby he's emphasizing that how important it is to stick to the regulative principles and without deviation, and that can uh, provide the enthusiasm and the needed impetus to spread the movement. Um, he's very pleased about the Hong Kong Center, and he's referring to that. I had the good fortune to visit the Hong Kong Center last year, so I can relate to it. It's very nice. That's all, Prabhu. That's the main takeaways.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Very nicely summarized. Any other comments, dear devotees? Okay, so that is from Srila Prabhupada's letter. So Prabhupada is asking enthusiastic for spreading this sublime moment without any deviation. So, and then remain fixed up to the regulative principles without a deviation. Okay, that is one core point. I take it. And then traveling from one place to another place, though we may not actually participating in Krishna consciousness, but these are our takeaway points, and it should act within us on particular point. Maybe we are conditioned, but when there is a knowledge, but things would come. Okay, so we wait for that situation, but we do not wait when we have got capacity. Okay, that is from Srila Prabhupada's letter. And from the announcements point of view, from our Sangha, there is no event today evening, today Friday, but we continue tomorrow morning. And then tomorrow evening, we have a Chaitanya Charitamrita session. Okay, that's all our events from from me and the devotees. If you have got any updates or you wanted to share anything, kindly share. Okay, otherwise we shall conclude and continue with further japa. वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमः अनन्तकोटिवैष्णववृन्द की जय
Jai,
आदि की जय
Jai.
Hare Krishna conscious day everyone.